Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that sheds light on the often overlooked struggles behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. We're going to take a closer look at 25 black child actors whose lives took tragic turns battling personal demons, the pressures of fame and challenges that no one saw coming. From rising stars to forgotten faces, their stories are a powerful reminder of the dark side of fame. Some found redemption, while others were lost along the way, but all of them have left an unforgettable mark on the entertainment world. Stick around, because their stories are more than just headlines. They're a lesson in resilience, heartbreak, and the cost of being a child star. Did you know about the heartbreaking stories of these black child actors? If you feel moved, leave a 1 in the comments. If not, comment 0. Share your thoughts, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to support the channel and stay updated with future videos. Do you remember Thompson Young, the boy with the radiant smile and passionate eyes who became the ideal role model for young Hollywood through his role in the famous Jet Jackson? He quickly captured the hearts of millions and became a rising star at just 14 years old. Golden opportunities and major movie roles opened up, making many people dream. However, who could have known that behind that bright spotlight, there were deep shadows from which he couldn't escape? Despite achieving early success, Thompson Young had to face immense pressure as a former child star. His journey to maturity in the entertainment industry was filled with challenges, especially as he tried to re-establish himself in more mature roles. However, Hollywood gradually forgot him, and the small roles he took on couldn't help him reclaim the glory of his earlier years. Lee was no longer the joyful young boy, but a man lost amid unmet expectations. The most tragic aspect of Thompson Young's life wasn't his career, but his silent battle with bipolar disorder, a condition he never publicly acknowledged. Although he always smiled on screen, behind that smile were sleepless nights and endless sadness. Lee lived in isolation, gradually distancing himself from society and those around him. When he passed away on the night of August 19, 2013, at the age of 29, no one could have imagined that a shining star was silently facing pain that could not be shared. Lark Voorhies was once the muse of an entire generation, with her role as Lisa Turtle in Saved by the Bell captivating audiences with her beauty and talent. In the 1990s, she quickly became a sought-after star and a symbol of teen appeal. However, as Hollywood continued to produce new stars, Lark slowly faded into obscurity. This was not the only tragedy in her life. In 2012, Lark unexpectedly revealed that she had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, which gradually caused her to lose control over her emotions and behavior. A once vibrant actress was now living in isolation, distancing herself from friends, colleagues, and even family. She was left abandoned in a world where the golden opportunities that once lay before her no longer existed. When all doors seemed to have closed, Lark continued to face a scandalous marriage to music engineer Jimmy Green in 2015. This short-lived marriage ended in a storm of drug abuse allegations and controversy, like a final poison pill that pushed her into despair. The dreams, hopes, and vibrant youth of Lark were now just a hollow shadow, with no one remembering her as a shining Hollywood star. Raven-Symoné is a name tied to the childhood of millions. With her role on The Cosby Show at just 3 years old, Raven charmed audiences with her innocence and talent. Later, she became a Disney Channel icon with That's So Raven. However, few know that behind her radiant smile was a silent battle with fame. As she entered her teenage years, the nightmare began. The public no longer saw Raven as an adorable child. They started scrutinizing everything from her appearance to how she matured. The pressure to maintain a perfect image became overwhelming, leading to years of stress. However, the real tragedy struck when Raven came out about her sexuality and her love for women. This made her a target of fierce backlash from those who rejected her true self. Despite facing immense judgment and expectations, Raven chose to speak out to reclaim her identity and become a powerful advocate for social issues. And life rewarded her resilience. On June 16, 2020, in a rose-filled garden in Los Angeles, Raven officially married Miranda Pierman-Madej, marking a moment of liberation after years of battling societal norms and life's challenges. Gary Coleman was one of the most famous child stars in Hollywood history, rising to fame with his role as Arnold Jackson in Different Strokes. The boy with a mischievous smile became a global icon despite being only 4 feet 8 inches tall due to chronic kidney disease. Gary earned millions of dollars before he turned 10, but behind the spotlight was a life full of scars and betrayal by those closest to him. Although success came to Gary at a very young age, it was cruelly stolen by those he trusted. In 1989, Gary's parents and financial manager embezzled nearly all of the $18 million he had earned. After years of legal battles, Gary only recovered $3 million, and that money quickly disappeared as he had to cover medical expenses, including multiple kidney transplants and dialysis treatments. But the harshness of life didn't end there. Gary hoped love would be his final refuge. He married Shannon Price, but the relationship quickly turned into a toxic, controversial cycle of conflict and abuse. On May 28, 2010, after a tragic fall down the stairs, Gary suffered a severe brain hemorrhage. His wife, Shannon, coldly demanded that his breathing tube be removed, and Gary Coleman passed away at the age of 42, alone carrying the burden of betrayal and neglect from Hollywood. Aaliyah, the princess of R&B music, captivated the world with timeless hits like Try Again and Are You That Somebody? She was not only a talented singer, but also an emerging actress with a role in Queen of the Damned and a trendsetter in the fashion world. Aaliyah was one of the brightest stars of the 90s, but fate did not allow her to live long enough to continue her rising career. On August 25, 2001, Aaliyah left us forever in a tragic plane crash in the Bahamas. As the plane took off, the engine let out a painful roar, an early warning of the disaster to come. The aircraft was overloaded with luggage and filming equipment and was piloted by an inexperienced captain. Just seconds after takeoff, the plane shook violently before crashing to the ground and exploding in flames. Aaliyah and her companions were gone, leaving only smoke and ashes behind. Her passing was not only a loss for music, but also the end of a talent that had yet to be fully discovered. Despite her brief career, Aaliyah remains an icon, having made a profound impact on generations of artists and fans. Lisa "Left Eye" Lopes, a member of the group TLC, was one of the boldest artists of the 90s. With her sharp rap skills, songwriting talent, and unique style, she helped transform songs like Waterfalls and No Scrubs into musical icons. However, Lisa's life was not without controversy and scandals, and she was always searching for peace that she never truly found. Deciding to travel to Honduras in search of peace, Lisa hoped this would be a fresh start for her. But on the morning of April 25, 2002, while driving her SUV on a lonely road, she lost control. The vehicle crashed into a large tree and flipped over, ending the life of one of the most rebellious and unique artists in the music industry at the age of 30. Lisa went to Honduras to find herself, but fate did not smile upon her. A tragic accident took away a great talent. Brandy Norwood. The music and television star won over audiences in the 1990s with her sweet voice and hits like "The Boy Is Mine." She also showcased her acting talent through the TV show Moesha. But everything changed on the chilly night of December 30th, 2006, when Brandy was involved in an accident on the 405 freeway in Los Angeles. Driving on the freeway, Brandy collided with a Toyota, leading to the tragic death of an innocent woman. Although she was not charged with a crime, she faced heavy judgment and criticism from the public. Brandy withdrew from the spotlight, burdened by guilt and silence. However, a true star never stops fighting. After years of struggling with herself, Brandy found the strength to return, joining projects like Queen's 2021, proving that resilience and determination could bring her back into the spotlight. She became a symbol of recovery, refusing to be defined by the tragedies of her past. Orlando Brown, a Disney star who rose to fame for his role as Eddie Thomas in That's So Raven, was one of Hollywood's most promising child actors. However, when the spotlight faded, Orlando was no longer the talented boy his fans once admired. Instead, he fell into a battle with temptations and the harsh realities of life. Since 2016, Orlando has become the center of scandals, from legal issues to personal controversies. His life is no longer a story of rising in the entertainment industry, but rather a long journey filled with struggles. Orlando has had to face his past mistakes and find ways to make amends for them. The peak of his controversies came in 2018 when he shocked the public with a false claim that he had a child with his former co-star, Raven-Symoné. He continued to raise concerns with bizarre statements, including claims of being followed by aliens. This made people realize that Orlando was not only battling addiction, but also facing serious mental health issues. Fortunately, after many dark years, Orlando recognized his mistakes and decided to turn his life around. He publicly entered rehabilitation and participated in recovery programs. No longer the troubled child star of yesterday, Orlando Brown is working hard to rebuild his life, though the road ahead remains challenging. Todd Bridges, famous for his role as Willis on Different Strokes, was once a symbol of success in the 1980s. However, after the show ended, Todd fell into addiction, turning to drugs as a way to escape the pressures and failures in his career. Despite rising to fame early, he faced deep wounds from his past. On the morning of February 2, 1989, Todd was arrested for drug possession and accused of attempting to assault a notorious drug kingpin, Kenneth Tex Clay. Although he was later acquitted, Todd's public image was severely damaged. What the world didn't know was that after all he had been through, Todd was also carrying a painful secret. He had been a victim of sexual abuse as a child, a truth he had buried for many years. These psychological wounds pushed Todd into self-destructive behavior, leading to reckless actions. However, Todd Bridges did not let his past dictate his future. After many years of struggling with himself, he found the strength to overcome his drug addiction, rebuild his life, and dedicate himself to community service. Although he couldn't regain his former glory, Todd became an inspirational speaker, using his story as a lesson about the darker side of fame and the dangers within the entertainment industry. Thank you for watching the story of Todd Bridges, a black child actor with a tragic life. His resilience and journey to overcome difficulties are truly inspiring. If you found this story thought-provoking, don't forget to leave a like and share this video with your friends. Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Meagan Good, the talented and captivating actress, won over audiences with her roles in films like Think Like a Man and Shazam. With her beautiful appearance and strong independence, she left a mark on the entertainment industry. However, behind that confidence and strength were deep scars she carried, especially when it came to love. On June 16, 2012, Meagan married producer and director Devin Franklin, a union blessed by close family and friends. Their relationship was admired as a testament to the perfect match between a talented actress and a successful man. However, on Christmas 2021, the marriage that had inspired so many ended in a stunning way. Meagan had to face the pain of the breakup alone, struggling with the loss and emotional devastation. But that was just the beginning. Meagan also encountered invisible barriers as society criticized her openness and views on feminism. Despite the scrutiny and judgment, Meagan refused to let society's expectations define her. She rose up with strength, continued her journey, and gradually rebuilt her career. Meagan Good is now not only an actress, but a symbol of resilience, defying all challenges in life. Merlin Santana, a familiar face from The Steve Harvey Show, in his role as Romeo, was one of Hollywood's promising young actors. However, on the night of November 9, 2002, a lie stole his life. While sitting in a car with his close friend, they were suddenly ambushed by a group of young men. A single gunshot ended Merlin's life, all because of a false accusation. A 15-year-old girl falsely claimed that Merlin had acted inappropriately with her, and that lie sparked a storm of hatred, leading to the tragic death of an innocent man. This serves as a reminder that one word can be a death sentence for an innocent person. XXXTentacion, one of the music phenomena of the younger generation, quickly won millions of hearts with hits like Sad and Jocelyn Flores. However, his life tragically ended on the afternoon of June 18, 2018, when he was ambushed by two armed robbers as he was leaving a motorcycle dealership in Florida. At just 20 years old, he collapsed inside his car with $50,000 in cash. Despite his untimely death, his music will live on, becoming the voice of lost souls, a confession of life's pain and unfulfilled dreams. Cameron Boyce became a shining star of Disney through his roles in Jessie and Descendants. However, on the night of July 6, 2019, as his career was at its peak, Cameron suddenly passed away from a silent seizure in his sleep. A chronic illness unknown to many took the life of the rising star. His death was a great loss to the entertainment industry, but his smiling image will forever live in the hearts of his fans. Marcus T. Paulk, famous for his role as Miles Mitchell in Moshe, was once a beloved child star. However, on August 18, 2013, his life took a dramatic turn when he was arrested for domestic violence. The police intervened after his ex-girlfriend accused him of assaulting her during an argument. The image of the rising star quickly shattered, replaced by criticism and judgment from the public. Marcus T. Paulk has faced a series of relentless challenges throughout his life. Jaleel White, the legendary star of the 90s, rose to television fame with his role as Steve Urkel in Family Matters, characterized by oversized glasses and a clumsy personality. However, this role became a heavy burden for him. Despite his relentless efforts to break free from the shadow of Urkel, Hollywood continued to remember him as Urkel, rather than acknowledging his true acting talent. Jaleel White's personal life was also filled with turmoil as he faced immense pressure from the entertainment industry, leading him to struggle with his mental health. Jaleel's story serves as a reminder that fame isn't always a gift. Sometimes it can be a curse, leading even the brightest stars into darkness. Emmanuel Lewis, known for his role as Webster in the eponymous show, was one of the most beloved child stars of the 1980s. However, as his fame reached its peak, his life took a different turn, and the spotlight faded, leaving behind no more stage lights or applause. After Webster ended, Emmanuel gradually disappeared from Hollywood and chose to live a quiet life away from the scrutiny of the media. While free from scandals or controversies, his silence was a disillusionment with the harshness of an industry and the loneliness that comes when fame fades. The world once adored Webster, but now only memories remain of a talent that belongs to the past. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, the renowned star known for his role as Theodore Huxtable on The Cosby Show, faced a major career challenge not because of his own mistakes, but due to the scandal surrounding Bill Cosby. Although Malcolm was not involved in the allegations against Bill Cosby, he couldn't escape being swept up in the public frenzy. Though he chose silence, this decision inadvertently became a double-edged sword, cutting short his rising career. However, Malcolm refused to let crises define his life. He continued to dedicate himself to acting, music composition, and letting his talent speak for itself, proving that his legacy was not determined by scandal. Alfonso Ribeiro, known for his role as Carlton Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, became a cultural icon thanks to the famous Carlton dance. However, this very role became a massive shadow, trapping him in the image of the cheerful student that he portrayed. Alfonso's attempts to reinvent himself were constantly tied to the public's and media's association with Carlton, causing his career to come to a near halt. Nevertheless, Alfonso did not give up. He continued to dedicate himself to his career and found ways to prove that he could be a versatile man and artist beyond his legendary Carlton role. Despite winning Dancing with the Stars in 2014 and taking on the role of host for America's Funniest Home Videos, Alfonso Ribeiro still couldn't escape the massive shadow of his character Carlton Banks from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Every time he performed the iconic Carlton dance, he became the target of harsh jokes instead of being admired for his accomplishments. The media mockery took a toll on Alfonso's spirit, leaving him feeling insecure and frustrated. However, Alfonso was not one to give up easily. Despite being tied to his past, he persevered in pursuing his career and sought opportunities to redefine himself, striving to prove that he could rise above the shadow of a legendary character. Keshia Knight. Pulliam, a childhood icon as Rudy Huxtable on The Cosby Show, became a beloved child star. But when the show ended, her career began to decline. Keshia tried to maintain her presence through small projects and appearances on shows like Celebrity Big Brother, but she couldn't escape the shadow of her past. She faced personal tragedy when her marriage to Ed Hartwell ended abruptly, dragging her into a tense legal battle. Her private details were exposed publicly, and instead of receiving sympathy, she faced criticism. She became a faded name tied to a past that Hollywood had forgotten. Kim Fields, known for her role as Tootie on The Facts of Life, was a promising and beloved young TV star. After continuing her career with shows like Living Single and The Upshaws, she remained a familiar face, but her personal life carried deep wounds. In 2015, Kim Fields' 8-year marriage to Christopher Morgan abruptly ended, plunging her into a deep emotional crisis. Coupled with waning public interest, she was no longer the sweet young girl, but an actress struggling to maintain fame. Memorable roles became scarce, and her once bright star faded in the relentless competition of the industry. Ralph Carter, the star of Good Times as Michael Evans, was one of the brightest child actors of his time. However, after the show ended, he quietly stepped away from the spotlight without a clear explanation. No scandals, no controversies, just a silent exit from Hollywood. Despite his talent, fame, and public adoration, Ralph Carter couldn't find a new path for his career and lived a life far removed from the entertainment industry. Taj Mowry, known for his role as T.J. Henderson in Smart Guy, was once a shining Disney star admired for his character's intelligence and quick wit. However, when Smart Guy ended in 1999, Taj's fame gradually faded. Despite efforts to revive his career with projects like Baby Daddy Taj never regained recognition as a true star. The image of T.J. Henderson was so powerful that it became a shadow Taj Mowry couldn't escape. Every attempt to transition from child actor to adult artist failed. Taj couldn't find a place in the entertainment industry, and even pursuing music couldn't restore his lost fame. Kyla Pratt, a promising child star with roles in Dr. Dolittle and The Proud Family, was once an idol to a generation. However, as she grew up, she felt immense pressure from the expectations tied to her fame. The admiration she received as a child was hard to sustain, and the burden of maintaining that image became an endless battle. Despite taking on new projects, Kyla never recaptured her former glory. Kyla Pratt was caught between her glorious past and the harsh reality of the entertainment industry, where every aspect of her personal life was dissected. Despite her resilience, Kyla couldn't fully escape the grip of this scrutiny and pressure. Janet Jackson, one of the greatest music icons of all time, left her mark with a captivating voice and world-class performances. However, behind the dazzling stage lights were emotional scars and personal tragedies few knew about. In 2004, the Super Bowl scandal during her performance with Justin Timberlake, where a wardrobe malfunction exposed part of her breast, shook her career. While Justin Timberlake faced no repercussions, Janet Jackson endured a torrent of harsh criticism that disrupted her career. Even more painful was the tragic end of her 5-year marriage to billionaire Wissam Al-Mana in 2017. But Janet is not one to be easily defeated. Despite her wounds, she continued to rise, drawing strength from her music and what she could offer the world. The pain Janet Jackson endured may have slowed a legend's stride, but it never dimmed her light. She remains a monument, an irreplaceable music icon, proving that no matter the challenge, the power of resilience and talent will always shine through. Shad Moss, better known as Lil Bow Wow, entered the entertainment industry at just 6 years old, quickly becoming a music and acting prodigy. He was a shining star with chart-topping hits and a promising career. However, that fame didn't last forever. As the glow of fame began to fade, Shad Moss faced the reality that stardom in the industry is never permanent. Personal scandals, financial disputes, and debts plunged him into a deeper crisis. Despite efforts to sustain his fame through music and acting, the towering shadow of Lil Bow Wow kept him trapped in the past. Now, Shad Moss is striving to rebuild his life amid past triumphs and present failures, seeking to overcome the wounds of time. Child stars like Janet Jackson and Shad Moss are vivid proof of the cruelty behind Hollywood's glamour. They were once exceptional talents in music and film, dedicating themselves fully to their art and shining brightly for a time. However, fate snatched their light in an instant. Hollywood, a place that elevates stars to the pinnacle of glory, is also the same place that can plunge them into the abyss of despair. These fallen child stars are evidence that the entertainment industry sometimes brings not only fame, but also an immense burden that causes many talents to wither. Do you feel heartbroken recalling these lost childhood talents? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on more hidden Hollywood secrets. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.